All right, Trevor Lawrence got paid. 5 years, 275. Um, Now, has he earned that? Will he earn it? And are those figures actually real? So, when some contracts are released, right? Let's take, for easy math, 5 years, $200 million, right? Okay, that equals out to $50 million a year. Or no, 5 years at 200 is 40 million a year. My bad. Let's do 5 years at 250. Just fuck it. 5 years at 250, and that's $50 million a year. I wanted 50 as an easy number, right? So, it's reported. It's a huge contract. Let's call it 150s guaranteed. So there's $100 million that is not guaranteed, right? And let's say guarantees go the first 4 years of the contract, and in the last year of the contract, no guaranteed money, right? Well, certain contracts can be very backloaded to where it's like you're making 20 million, 20 million, 20 million, 20 million, and then you make whatever in the final year of your contract. And like, oh, that's a huge number. Right, but it's a huge number you're never going to see. You're not going to see it because after year 4, the team's going to re-up you, kick that can down the road, cap hit goes way down, and you get another contract. But you never saw the rest of that money. So that could be a case with this. I don't know. But it's just NFL teams have certain ways of figuring around the salary cap, which that's why I am a big fan of not being able to manipulate the salary cap. If you sign a player to a 5-year, $250 million year, $250 million contract, his cap hit $50 million. No if, ands, or buts about it. 50 mil. That's just where I'm at. Like, not, oh, his cap's only $2 million and, we can still build around him. Like, the fuck is that bullshit? Or it's like, hey, we need an extra $5 million in cap. We're just going to borrow from next year. I don't like that shit. I think it should just be whatever he's making, that's the cap hit. If he signed a 1-year deal for $10 million, the cap hit this year is $10 million. If it's a 2-year for 20, guess what? It's 10 and 10. Not, we're really going to structure this and we're going to add the void years. So that way we take the cap salary cap hit. Jesus, fuck. Hit for the next 20 years, and then we're going to do this, and we're going to do this. To me, that's bullshit. So, but now that we talked about if it's real, I don't know. But it may or may not be real. Let's talk about did Trevor Lawrence do enough to earn this contract? Has he been a good enough quarterback to earn $55 million a year? Has he done enough to be tied for the highest paid player in the league? To me, to this point, no. Now, is he going to come out this upcoming season, throw 50 touchdowns, 5,000 yards, league MVP, and win the Super Bowl? I don't know. Maybe. Would he have proved his worth on that contract if he is contending for the Super Bowl every year? Yes. And in 3 years, let's call it. And by the way, he also has 2 years left. He just finished year 3. So now you have year 4, year 5, plus a 5-year extension. You're 7 years at like 290 is what the actual contract is. At least that's what I think the numbers are. So it's like, hey, or maybe it's a little more, but I think that's what one person said that I heard. So if that's wrong, blame that person. Yeah, so if he's contending for the Super Bowl every year, then the contract is clearly worth it. Plus, in a few years, when other quarterbacks are getting 65 to 70 million, okay, now Trevor's whatever. It's like Mahomes' deal. Where, yeah, he was the highest paid, and then everyone now is making $10, $15 million more than what he's making. And it's like, well, Mahomes is the best quarterback in the league, and yet these other people are making more. Trevor Lawrence, who I think has a 20-30 record, and his stats in the last 50 games are similar to that of Daniel Jones, or at least some of the stats. There was some kind of graphic. And you know what? Maybe there are other stats that are showing him way better than Daniel Jones. I don't know. I'm just telling you the graphic that was shown to me on First Things First. Which, by the way, that show's in the afternoon. Why is it still First Things First? But, like, there's different things to show. I just don't think it was worth it. And you want to know what? If he balls out this year and you end up having to pay him $60 million a year, fine, whatever. There was a point, the end of his second year, beginning of his third year, where he was playing pretty well, and then he got hurt. So it's like, okay, is that little stretch that we had, was that really Trevor? Or was that just a good stretch? Which, you know what, if that was really Trevor, and he can be like that now, because it typically takes, here's what people don't realize, for most players, no matter what you're projected out of college, it takes you about 3 to 4 years to really get a grasp on the NFL. Like, I think Ryan Shazier, his first couple of years, he wasn't really playing well. Like year 3 or year 4, clicked. And he was flying. And he was playing well. And then obviously his career-ending injury. And I'll take Patrick Queen as an example. He's 24 years old right now. He is still very, very young. But he's played 4 years in the NFL. People bring up the fact that, well, he started really playing well when Roquan got there. When did Roquan get to the Ravens? Year 3. So yes, he did have another guy playing next to him to kind of teach him a little bit. But that's also right at the time where you start seeing it. Like, you're there mentally and you're there physically. So then it's not just your physical ability. You actually see the shit happening in front of you. So if that's happening with Trevor Lawrence, then this is well worth it for the Jags. If not, then they just wasted over $200 million. And then Doug Peterson would get fired. The next head coach is going to come in. I can fix him. I can fix that quarterback. And if he does or doesn't, and if he doesn't, then he gets fired. And Trevor, by that point, will almost be out of guaranteed money if he isn't already. So then he'd be cut. It's just, and I've said this, teams are so afraid of having a bad quarterback. You are willing to go throw good at average or great money at good. Like, you will pay an average quarterback the money you would pay a good quarterback, and you'll pay a good quarterback the money you would pay a great quarterback. Just because you are so afraid of having a bad quarterback that it's like, no, we have to have some quarterback, right? Even if he's average. Like, that's why Daniel Jones got $40 million a year from the Giants. He had one good year under Brian Daboll, right? So he has one good year under him, and they give him $40 million a year. Now, granted, they can get out of it after this year, if they so choose. But is Daniel Jones really worth that? Is he? Like, honest to God, is he worth that? And it's kind of the reason why, if you're in, say, the maybe 5th, 6th, 7th round, right? And you take a quarterback. What's the harm, right? If he's a backup, he's a backup. Or maybe you hit the Holy Grail and he's Tom Brady or he's Brock Purdy. And all of a sudden you have a really cheap quarterback for 3 or 4 years and you can do whatever. Like, that's why quarterbacks are also taken so early. Like, we had 6 quarterbacks taken in the first round this year. 6. Like, it's not feasible that they all hit. They're not. And if you look at like 2020, let's say, Joe Burrow hit. Tua, I'd say that's a hit. Justin Herbert, I'd give it a hit. Jalen Hurts, for being a second round quarterback, that's a hit. And I'm sorry, I skipped over Jordan Love. Hit. So you had all those quarterbacks hit, right? That's 2020. Let's go to 2021. Trevor just got paid. So right now we'll call it a hit. Zach Wilson was taken second overall. Massive, 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 massive miss. Let's go third overall pick. Trey Lance. Right now that's a miss because he's been traded away to the Cowboys for a 4th round pick. So let's call that a miss, right? Okay. Then I don't think any quarterbacks were taken until Justin Fields. What was that? 11th overall? I think 11th, 12th, somewhere in that ballpark, maybe 10. But he was in like the 10 to 12 ballpark, right? He's been traded. And right now, I don't know whether to call him a hit or a miss. Because he's shown some talent, and he actually showed something when he came back from injury last year. So, who knows? Maybe he had that 3rd year, and it clicks. I don't know. Mac Jones, he's been traded away. So right now, that's probably a miss. So you have one quarterback from the first round of the 2021 NFL Draft that is still with their original team. Everyone else has been traded. Let's go to 2022. Kenny Pickett's the only quarterback taken in the first round. He's been traded. Desmond Ridder, he was taken, 3rd round? He's been traded. Sam Howell, 5th round. He's been traded. Like, Matt Corral, I think. I don't even know if he's in the NFL right now. Like, you had 2020, which was a massive hit. 2021, besides Trevor, right now is a huge miss. 2022 is a huge miss. Let's go to 2023. Bryce Young, it's early, but that might be a miss. And you know what? Let's give him this year, see what happens, and we'll go from there. C.J. Stroud, huge hit. Anthony Richardson, hit maybe. He's got to stay healthy. Let's see. Then I think the next quarterback was Will Levis in the 2nd round. And hit, maybe miss. The jury's out. It's just, and now you have this year, which they're all rookies and we can't evaluate them. But you have all these times where quarterbacks are drafted, way above their normal spot. Like, you're telling me Bo Nix is worth the 12th overall pick? Really? And you know what? Maybe he balls out. Maybe I'm wrong. Okay? But to me, he was a 2nd rounder. And we'll see. Or, it's late and you take a shot at a guy. But you're just so worried about not having a bad quarterback that you'll take average at good money. So we'll see what happens with Trevor. Like I said, as of right now, I don't think he's earned 275. And in the future, in the next year or two, maybe he definitely earns it, and maybe the Jags just wasted a whole lot of money. We'll see. So if you guys did enjoy this, please leave a like, and if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, turn notifications on. I'll see all you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.